Hey everybody, welcome back to a very long-awaited episode of User Replays. This is episode number 11, and it's been a while. So I've had this on my hard drive for about 6 weeks now, completely finished, except for the narration. I just haven't been able to get around to it because I've had some issues with a lot of the replays that have been sent in, as far as people using the Z key too much, and you'll see a fair bit of that here. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to be a little bit more stringent about what I record and what I don't record as far as the overusage of that, because I gotta tell you, as far as like presentation's concerned, I can't do anything when there's a cruiser or a destroyer that's shooting at somebody who's like 4 kilometers away and hitting the Z key. It doesn't make any sense. So, actually, the same thing applies to battleships too. But speaking of battleships, that is a fantastic dispersion. And you're watching Lord Ecthelion here in his Nagato. He's doing some good work already, and this is probably the best all-round match I've seen with the Nagato in the replays that I've been sent. Though, to be honest with you, I don't really have all that much with the Nagato to begin with, and this is only the second time anything in regards to the Nagato has been featured on here, because the other time was the actual Nagato overview last year. Yeah, I just don't get around to playing the ship. Part of the reason was because at the time, tier 7s were one of my least favorite ships. It was actually what we considered... it was kind of like a filter. You move up the line for a given ship, for a ship class, ship nation, whatever, and you get to 7, and things changed. The behavior of a given ship was just different. So, the Mayhan didn't have the torps it used to have, or now it's a far better ship than it used to be a year ago. And the Nagato, I would say, vastly superior at the time to the Colorado, but the Nagato still didn't feel that great, not compared to the Fuso, not compared to the Amagi. But the Nagato still has quite a bit of, a character to it, and I'd say it certainly has more of a place now in the game than it did before, which is interesting, especially due to the fact that ranked, team battles, things like that, all of that has factored into the Nagato kind of having like a second coming of age, I guess. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting how things have turned out for this ship, and especially now with the fact that the secondaries are, such a prominent aspect of the game, and even more so with this ship. Yeah, it's a hard ship to approach, that's for damn sure. But I have a captain that doesn't have any skill points whatsoever on the Nagato. I need to get rid of that guy and get a new one with at least the 3 points and try to get things going, because I do plan on playing it a fair bit sometime soon. I just haven't really been in the mood for it, especially with how battleships have been pretty much shit for me lately. So amazingly enough, he did not get completely wrecked there by that New Mexico. Very, very lucky. What he's also lucky with, though, is the fact that there's 4 very soft battleships on the enemy team. So a pair of New Mexicos, a Tirpitz, and a Colorado as well. And the reason I say that is because the penetration damage, you'll notice that he's racking up very solid damage numbers, and it's just because he's been able to find his target over and over again. And with these types of guns against softer targets like their battleships, it's going to add up pretty quickly. And I say softer because they have that, they tend to give up a lot of penetrating damage. Like New Mexico, a Tirpitz, you can roll a New Mexico against a Tirpitz and consistently get 10,000 damage salvos. I don't have a problem facing a Tirpitz when I'm playing a New Mexico or an Arizona, because I know I'm going to be able to do damage to him. It's not going to be Citadel damage unless he is turning out and exposing that red underbelly, but chances are I could probably hold my own against him for at least a little bit of time before finally those 15-inch guns start just shredding me. But You know, his team, Lord Icthelion's team here, has been pretty much on the ropes for most of this match, and now it's down to a 2v2 as the shells find their mark and give them the lead again. So now all they have left is an enemy destroyer. So he's got HE loaded, the Fubuki's coming around, and gets the front turrets off. And this guy's trying to wiggle like for his life and everything. And again, look at that. I mean, he's had fantastic dispersion throughout most of this match. And the first one missed, but he manages to seal the victory there with the kill. So 6 kills, 178,000 damage, and 2,753 base XP. This clip, by the way, is from March 25th. So the actual game itself was a little further back. Yeah, but yeah, I have been kind of avoiding battleships lately if you've tuned into the stream at all. I've, like, last week and a half, I've just been rolling mostly destroyers, and I got the gearing today. I had a yeah, hell of a good game with that. I think you'll like that one. But I have been enjoying the low tier stuff, of course, because low tier, like what you're seeing here with the Kawachi, is really what probably got you interested in the game in the first place. So this is Donovan in his Kawachi, and this is just awesome. I love this type of stuff. I mean, it's not the apex of skill or anything, and it's not because of the tier. It's just simply two battleships duking it out at close range, you know, Dreadnought style. And I mean, granted, they never got that close, but that's just, to me, that's pretty damn fun. And now we have Soul Eater in the Montana, and this is, I think, just after it got buffed. And yeah, that Kutuzov pretty much disappeared. So his shells hit the same time as somebody else's and took out most of the life, then somebody else finished him off. Now there's a Kutuzov right in front of Soul Eater here who is on very low health, and that's because the Yamato apparently knocked the shit out of him a moment ago. So what you're going to see here in this match is a few things. And as there's a Shima wall of torps here in front of him, basically there's a bit of an overusage of the Z key again, and you're going to see where one of my main problems with it, and what I would tell anybody, is to, it does have its time and place to use that, of course. I use it pretty frequently as a battleship if there's, say, a target way off in the distance, and there's other ships that are in between that target and me, and I need to see like some of the minute details of whether or not they are moving forward or backwards or whatever, and I can't quite tell on the mini-map without staring at it. So I'll fire my shells at, you know, another target, and I'll hit the Z key and look down real fast, and then I'll pop out of that and go back to maneuvering my ship. The main thing that the main problem with this game, honestly, aside from passivity, is tunnel vision. Z leads to tunnel vision. You don't control your ship anymore. You know, you're not paying attention to your surroundings and that sort. It promotes tunnel vision, and that's why I have a big problem with it, and why I try to anybody that'll listen to me, of course, I try to say, you know, try to avoid using it. You know, like I said, it does have its place and its use to gather information, because nothing is more important than gathering information, of course, on potential targets or potential threats. But in the end, and what you're seeing here develop, is tunnel vision. And he has a target that's over here with the Yamato, and it's a legitimate threat, of course, but he doesn't have his broadside to the Yamato. Once he's going to start turning back a little bit here, but there's an Iowa that has his broadside, who's lining up a shot right now, and he's got a full broadside available against Soul Eater's Montana. You're going to see the shells come in right after this. Should be coming in right from A. Here they come. So he's going to lose a fair bit of health here, and he's lucky that it wasn't an outright kill. And it's one of those things that, you know, you got to have your head on the swivel and be ready and willing to, you know, fire, take a look around at your surroundings, where not just the enemy ships are, but where your team's ships are as well, because their movements will dictate your movements, so on and so forth. But eventually the Iowa went down, and Soul Eater turned back to the Yamato, and has been focusing on him quite a bit. And again, no real reason to use Z there, but no real reason not to, I suppose, as well. But he and this Iowa here are moving in against the Yamato, and he's getting some good damage. It's chipping away, and the fact that there's more targets here than what the Yamato is able to handle is a good thing. This is what you should be doing in these situations. Pushing in against the Yamato is pretty much the best thing you can do, because somebody's going to get the side of him and be able to nail his citadel, because the Yamato is horribly weak on the side, just like any other battleship. At this tier, you can take a Hindenburg, you can take hell, a New Orleans can citadel him on the side if he's got the right range and the right angle and stuff. You just can't give up your side to any target, even in the Yamato. And this Hindenburg manages to take out the Iowa, but those shells just started shredding that Hindenburg apart, and Soul Eater gets the kill. Now check this out. The one thing that I would say, the one thing I would say about the Montana is when the dispersion is good, it is a fantastic cruiser killer. And that's the thing that when I played it, it just didn't have the dispersion. And back in closed beta, I was very comfortable with using that. I loved to play the Montana. It was an awesome ship for me. But things change, whatever. And I am not going to buy the Montana back anytime soon. Nice 34,000 damage salvo on the Des Moines. But at the same time, I can respect where it is now. And I think they've done a good job of bringing back some relevance to it. That's for sure. And anybody who is broadside to the Montana now, good luck. The amount of damage it's capable of inflicting is astonishing. And there's a Kraken. So very nice job, Soul Eater. But yeah, definitely some things he could have improved there. But moving on to a match with the Iowa, and this is Hush. He's going to start this off all the wrong ways. God, I hate that sound so much when I'm playing something other than the Destroyer. But yeah, he lost about 62,000 health right off the bat here, and unfortunately he's going broadside again, and there's multiple ships that can make him punish. Inflict the punishment, I should say. Nagato over here, I've seen plenty of replays with the Nagato wrecking Iowas from further out than this, and again, he lucked out as another battleship's behind that Nagato. But he manages to line up another salvo here, and then he's pulling a little bit away and starting to get a feel for the situation as he nails a 27,000 damage salvo on the Nagato. And obviously there's way too much for him to contend with the amount of health he has right now. So he turns back around, heads towards mid, and for some reason this Iowa comes out broadside. I have no idea what the hell he's thinking. Quad sit. Yikes. And this is one of the problems, again, that I've encountered with people using the Z key too much. I've had to go back and record things over and over again because of situations like that, where it's too close. You don't see anything. You just see the ship get killed, but you don't get to see where the shells fall. And I was having trouble. I think I recorded this. I must have recorded this, at least 5-6 times, because I couldn't get the shift key to work properly. For those of you who don't know, in a replay, your movements and the camera stuff, everything that's happening is all based off of what you were doing in the game. But if you right click, then you have control over it, and you can hit shift, you can do that thing, and you can force artillery zoom, that sort of thing. But you can't do the shell tracker with Z. But sometimes it just doesn't work. So I had to watch this again, and I finally got the artillery cam working, and so you could see the cursor going all over the place. But this is important to see where the shells fall. All in the front for 50,000 damage. Ooh, boy. So, nice job there for Hush, but let's round this out with J-Dog Master. Apparently he's going to defend the cap. And this is already a pretty interesting situation. There's a Benson that's over here. and Cleveland as well. You see on the mini map there's a couple grayed out little triangles. That's a pair of Mayhans that are in the division, and they're working together. He manages to get 6 AP overpens there. Well, actually, don't know if they're overpens, but given the fact that he's cut in half when his when that Benson shows back up, looks like 6 overpens was just about right. Basically, J-Dog is going to be stuck in a position here as the Cyclone rolls in of defending the cap, and he's going to have to try to make something happen here as his other teammates, and you'll see this as the clips go on, his other teammates pretty much leave him there. So there's a destroyer up ahead of him who's going to run into the Mayhans, unfortunately, and there's going to be a Colorado off to his left, and it's pretty much up to them for a fair bit of time to weather this, oh god, forgive the pun, to weather the storm. So J-Dog is dropping his port side torps here, and both of the enemy Mayhans are focusing on the teammate that is just off to his left here. That's another Mayhan, and you can see one's in the smoke and one's, well, now he's popping smoke too, and they just finished him off right there. So there's the shell cam, which he's not trying to do that, he's trying to see where the torps are. So when you fire your main batteries and you have torps in the water, the main batteries takes precedence for the shell cam, so you hit C to cycle through till you find the shell you're looking for or the torpedo, that sort of thing. Managed to get a torp on the Cleveland, and also amazingly finds a turpit-sized hole between one of the torpedo spreads from the Mayhans. And the amazing part here too is that if you consider the track of those torps, that was actually really close to the Cleveland. And you're going to see a little bit more of that in a very critical moment later, but manages to dodge another set of torps, and you can see him looking towards where those battleships are on the mini-map, and that's a problem because that's a pair of North Carolinas, and all he's got covering his flank right now is that Colorado, who's on very, very low health, and as you can see on the mini-map, is again, the rest of his team is still hanging back. So of course it's only a matter of time before the Colorado goes down, and he still has all these damn torpedoes that are messing him up here, and he's kind of confused as to what to do from the looks of it. I mean, just the fact that he's switching between so many targets. I think he kind of, at this point, had relegated himself to probably doing the suicide torp run, and initially that's what it looks like is going to happen here. So he's going to start turning to his left, and for a while I thought he was going to go right in between both of the North Carolinas, which would have been hilarious, but he's got something else in mind. So he's still, as you can see, he's not focusing on the North Carolinas, and this is important. He's letting his guns do the work on the Mayhans while they're spotted and trying to get some damage done on them, because he can go ahead and tank a bit here against the North Carolinas and get his torpedoes into play. So against the one on the further right side, he gets the torps off, and look at how close this is. Holy shit. Talk about balls of just grade A Pittsburgh steel, just wow. Gets his back turrets on that North Carolina, gets his torps going against the other one. Looks like, and see what I mean? That was an incredibly close call for those torps against that North Carolina. I mean, that guy could have been team killed, no problem. Now the torps find their mark and gets a devastating strike there against that North Carolina. Time's running out. He may not get the salvo off. Gets a full broadside into the North Carolina side for the double strike. Yeah, that was awesome. You'll be seeing more of J-Dog in the next episode of User Replays as well, which will consist of nothing but tier 10 matches. Maybe even some Moskva gameplay in there. I don't know, I haven't seen that replay yet, but Kiev is definitely coming up soon. And I did want to mention I kind of restructured all of the videos in YouTube. I have them all sorted in playlists now, so if you want to check out the previous ones, it should be pretty easy for you. But yeah, just wanted to get back on track with User Replays, and I definitely have more of that coming up, and the gearing too. Had some good matches with that today. But thanks for watching today, guys. Hope you have a good one, and I'll see you back here soon. Take care.